Hi, today I am recording the lesson for day 30. In this class, we are going to discuss about the problems on the moment of inertia of the C section, Z section, I section, and so on. Now I am sharing the PPT. So the subtopic of this today's lesson is problems on the moment of inertia of the various sections. Now coming to the recap, the previous classes we had some problems on the T section, L section, and I section also. So in this section, in this class, we will discuss some more things. So today we are going to discuss the problems on the triangle section, non-symmetrical C section, and Z section. And if possible, we also discuss the problem on I section. So this is the first problem. Take down this problem. A bar of triangle section of sides 100 by 80 by 60 millimeters is placed in such a way that its longest side is on the ground. Calculate second moment of inertia of the section. Second moment of force, that is nothing but the moment of inertia of the section. A about the base, and B about the centroidal axis parallel to the base. So this is the problem given. So in the present case, a triangular section of the three sides, that is the three sides are given, and here they said that it is placed on the ground or somewhere else, such that the longest side is on the ground. So that is the longest side means here the 100 mm is horizontal. So that is the condition given. So based on the condition, this is the figure. Here the given data, if you take the given data, the triangle of three sides 100 mm, 80 mm, and 60 mm. And here one of the important condition is the longest side is 100 mm is on the ground or it is horizontal. So the remaining are the sides. So here the ABC is the given triangle. AB is equal to 100 mm, AC is equal to 80 mm, and BC is equal to 60 mm. Now it is not a right angle triangle. So however, so we have to find the distance. So here the centroid of this triangle is located at this point here. So this is H. H is the distance between the vertex C and perpendicular to the side AB, that is the CD is the height. Now the x-axis is the distance of centroid from the base AB. So it is a say y. Now this is the total is the height is h. Now here the thing is we have to find the what is called height h, and accordingly we can find the moment of inertia. Now here we got the two right angle triangles. So here when you join the C and D, here the given triangle is divided into two right angle triangles. So one is the triangle ACD, other is the triangle BCD. These two are the right angle triangles, and here the H is unknown. That H we have to find, and this X also unknown. So X is unknown and H also unknown. And by using the Pythagoras theorem, by applying the Pythagoras theorem, but the both triangles here you can see the CD is the common side. The CD is the common side for both the triangles. So then if we take a Pythagoras theorem, we will get some equation for the triangle ACD and other equation for the triangle BCD. Then we have to equate the side CD in both the cases. Then we can find out the values of the H and X, and accordingly we can find out the centroid and then moment of inertia. Now coming to the solution, in the right angle triangle ACD, so using the Pythagoras theorem, ACD means ACD. So this is the hypotenuse and this is the adjacent side, AD is the adjacent side and CD is the opposite side. So AC square is equal to AD square plus CD square. Same thing. So here H square, that means this CD square is nothing but the AC square minus AD square. Here AD is nothing but this is, if it is 100 and this is X. So this is 100 minus X is the AD. So H is equal to AD square minus 100 minus X whole square. So this is the first equation that we got. Now from the triangle BCD, if we take the triangle, now consider the triangle, this triangle BCD. Here H is equal to this BC square minus BD square. So that is the 60 H is equal to 60 square minus X square. So that is the second equation. So H square is equal to 60 square minus X square. So now equation the because the H is common in both the cases for the both triangles. So H square also equal to same. So by equating the equation 1 and equation 2, then 80 square minus 100x whole square, 100 minus x whole square is equal to 60 square minus x square. And if you expand this equation, we'll get the x value. So x value is equal to this 36 millimeters. So that is the x value. So by solving the equation 1 and 2, we'll get the x is equal to 36 millimeters. Then h value. So by equation 2, because it is a simple equation, so h square is equal to 60 square minus x square and x value is already there. Then h is equal to under root of 60 square minus 36 whole square. So it is equal to 48 millimeters. So this is the h value. Now we got the h value and also the x value. Now our this thing is the moment of inertia of the triangle about the base. For the base we got the direct formula. The formula is the moment of inertia of the triangle about the base is equal to bh cube by 36. Bh cube by 36 the axis, and IAB is equal to BH cube by 12. The moment of inertia of the triangle about its base IAB is equal to BH cube by 12. So substituting here the base is 100 mm and height is 48 mm. So 100 into 48 cube by 12, it is equal to 92.16 into 10 power 4 mm4. That is the moment of inertia about the base. Similarly, the moment of inertia about the central axis for the triangle is equal, that is I-axis is equal to BH cube by 36. So here we got the B value and H value. It is equal to 100 into 48 cube by 36. So it is equal to 30.72 into 10 power 4 mm4. So this is the moment of inertia of the given triangle about the central axis XX. So now in this way we found the moment of inertia of the given triangle about the base and the moment of inertia of the given triangle about the XX axis. Because we got the direct formulas, we substituting the values, we got the answers. Next we'll move to the another problem. So this is the problem on the asymmetrical C-section. It is not non-symmetrical C-section. So here the lengths of the waves are not equal, and also even the thickness also not same throughout. So it is called as the non-symmetrical C-section or non-symmetrical channel section. So for this also we can find out the moment of inertia and about the base and also about the central axis. Now we take the figure first. We take down the figure. Here the bottom flange is having a length of 120 millimeters and a thickness of 20 mm, and the height is height on the top flange is length is 90 mm and thickness is 10 mm, and the web height is 120 mm and thickness is 10 mm. So here now we have to now take down the problem. Find the moment of inertia of the given non-symmetrical C section as shown in the figure about its central axis and about its central axis parallel to the base. So here only we need to find out the IXX passing through the centroid and parallel to the base. Here, as we know that this coming to the solution, here the given C section is first to divide into the three rectangles as the bottom flange, web and top flange. So the bottom flange. So if we join the line up to here, if we extend up to this edge, then this is the rectangle one, that is the bottom flange, and here this is the web, this is the rectangle 2, and the top flange is the rectangle 3. So rectangle 1 is having a width up to 120 mm and depth of 20 millimeters, and the top flange is having, that is rectangle 3 is having a width of 90 millimeters and depth of 10 millimeters, and the web is a vertical rectangle having a depth of 90 millimeters and thickness of 10 millimeters. So in this way we have divided the given channel section or C section into the three rectangles. Now this is the point that is the centroid for the rectangle 1. This will be the centroid for the rectangle 2, and this will be the centroid for the rectangle 3. And now we have to find out the both the x distance and y distance. But here only he mentioned that we need to find out the IXX, which is parallel to the base. So only the y bar is required to find out. The y coordinate of the centroid is required to find out. We don't bother about the x coordinate, and we have to find out the only the heights, that is the hy1 hy2 and hy3 and y bar, and accordingly we can find out the ixx which is parallel to the base. The ixx about the this central axis parallel to the base. Now for this also we have to take the reference. So the reference will be the, because only we got the y coordinate here and the bottom most side, that is the bottommost edge. So this is the bottommost edge is the reference point for the y distance, and from here we have to take the measurements. Now take down the y bar. So let y be the position of the centroid from the base. Y is equal to here a1 into y1 plus a2 into y2 plus a3 into y3 by a1 plus a2 plus a3. So you know you know very well about the here what is the a1 here. A1 is equal to 120 20, that is 2400, and a2 is equal to 90 into 10 is 900, and a3 is equal to 90 into 10 to 900, and the y1. So for this rectangle 1, y1 is equal to directly from this base 20 by 2 10, and y2 is equal to this 20 plus, so 90 by 2, so 20 plus 45, that is 65. And from coming to y3, so up to here it is how much, 20 plus 90 110 plus 10 by 2, so 115. Like this we have to find out the y1 y2 y3 and h1 a1 a2 a3. So here y bar is equal to a1 into y1 plus a2 into y2 plus a3 into y3 by a1 plus a2 plus a3. So y bar is coming to be 44.28 millimeters. So this is the location of the, that is the position of the y coordinate from the base. So this x is the distance of the y coordinate from this base. Now the next one is we have to find out the what is called the hy1, hy2 and hy3. So here hy1 is nothing but the difference between the y1 and y bar. So this is the y bar. So whichever is more, we should subtract the lower value from the higher value. So here this y bar is more, so 44.28 minus 10, that is y bar minus y1. So this is 34.28 millimeters, and hy2 is equal to, here y2 is more than the y bar, so y2 minus y bar, so 65 minus 44.28, it is equal to 20.72 millimeters. And h by 3, here also y3 is more than the y bar, so y3 minus y bar, this is equal to 115 minus 44.28, it is coming to be 70.72 millimeters. So like this h by 1, h by 2 and h by 3 are calculated. Now coming to the moment of inertia of the section 1, that is ixx1, that is the rectangle 1, is equal to, we know the formula. What is the formula? BD, the common formula is ixx is equal to, for the rectangle, BD cube by 12. So in this case B1 into D1 cube by 12 plus A1 into H1 square. So here H1 is equal to 34.28. So you substitute the values. So ixx of the rectangle 1, ixx1 is equal to 2900,284.2 mm4, and similarly the ixx2 for the rectangle 2, rectangle 2 is a vertical rectangle, so here the b is equal to 10 and d is equal to 90, so therefore b d cube by 12 plus a2 into h by 2 square, so it is coming to be 993,886.56 mm4, and for the ixx of the rectangle 3, that is ixx3 is equal to, for the third rectangle, so b is equal to 90 and d is equal to 10, so 90 into 10 cube by 12 into a3 into h by 3 whole square, so it is coming to be 4508686.6 mm4. Now we have to add all the things together. So the moment of inertia of the given C section about the xx ixx is equal to ixx1 plus ixx2 plus ixx3. So now substituting the values, the total value of ixx is equal to 8402857.34 mm4. So this is the answer for the given problem. So in this way you have to work out the problems for any composite sections. Generally in the problem, so they may ask you to find whenever a non-symmetrical section is given, they may ask you to find out the either ixx or iyy. Sometimes both may be asked, and you are in a position to find out the moment of inertia of the given composite section. Now we'll move to the next problem. So this is the problem on the Z section. So this section is in the shape of a Z. Here also it is a symmetrical section. It is not symmetrical. So in the problem, he has mentioned that we need to find out the moment of inertia of the given Z section about the YY axis. IYY we have to find out, and here all are the rectangles only. Suppose you take down this problem. So here it is a Z section having a bottom flange of 120 millimeters width and 10 mm thickness, and a top flange of 40 mm width and 10 mm thickness, and a wave of 80 mm depth and 10 mm thickness. Now take down the problem. Find the moment of inertia about YY axis of the Z section as shown in the figure. Now I think you have copied the figure with the given dimensions. Now coming to the solution. So it is very simple. Here only we are supposed to find out the IYY. So therefore the x bar we have to find out. So for that x1, x2, x3 and x bar, hy1, hx1, hx1, hx2, hx3 we have to find. Now first part is we have to redraw the figure and we have to divide the given Z section into the some standard figures because it is only rectangles. So we have to divide the given Z section into the three rectangles. So this is a convenient way. So we have to join up to here. You have to take this up to the left edge. So this is up to this edge. So now this is a web, and the other bottom rectangle. This is a web. This is the top rectangle. So this is the rectangle 1, rectangle 2, and rectangle 3. Now we have to find out the x1, x2, x3. So for this we have to define the reference axis. So generally the bottommost edge is the x-axis reference point, and the leftmost edge is the reference point for the y-axis. Now so this is the leftmost edge is the 0 point for the y-axis. So from we have to take the distances, all distances from this point. Now we have divided the given rectangle, given Z section into the three rectangles, and if you see the area of the rectangle one, that is 120 to 10 to 200 square mm, and x1 is equal to, that is what is the x1 value if you take here, x1 is equal to, so from here, so it is how much it is, so this will take, so it is 40, this is 10, so it is up to here is 30, and here from here it is 30, and this is 120 by 2 60, so 30 plus 60 90, so x1 is equal to 90. Similarly the a2 we got 70 into 10, this height is 70 into 10, and x2, coming to x2 point, so up to here it is 30 and this is 10, so 30 plus 10 by 2, so 35 is the x2 value. And coming to the rectangle 3, this is rectangle 3, rectangle 3 is how much, a3 is equal to, so the total distance is how much, it is 40 into 10, that is a3, 40 into 10, and x3, coming to the x3, now from directly we can take, so this is how much, 40 by 3, so 40 by 3 and 40 by 2, 40 by 2 is 20, so x is equal to 20. Now x bar is equal to, by formula, a1 into x1 plus a2 into x2 plus a3 into x3 by a1 plus a2 plus a3. So by substituting the values, we will get the x bar is equal to 61.1 millimeters. Now coming to the MI part, here the moment of inertia of the Z section about yy is equal to Iyy, one of the one, that is the Iyy of the rectangle 1 plus Iyy of the rectangle 2 plus Iyy of the rectangle 3. So this 3 we have to find and add. So here we know all the values. So for the rectangle, what is the formula for the Iyy? The Iyy is equal to dB cube by 12, whereas Ix is equal to BDQ by 12. But here we require the IYY. IYY is equal to DBQ by 12. Here D1 is equal to 10 and B1 is equal to B1 is equal to 120. So D1 into B1 cube by 12 plus here area is A1 is equal to 1200 into Hx1 is equal to 28.9 whole square. So like this, and Iyy2 is equal to d2 into b cube by 12 into a2 into hx2 whole square. Similarly, d3 into b cube by 12 plus a3 into hx3 whole square. So by substituting all the values here, we will get the Iyy is equal to 313.377 into 10 power 5 mm4. So this is the moment of inertia of the given Z section about the y axis. And here, so after finding this x1, x2, x3 and x bar, so now hx1 is nothing but the difference between the x bar and x1, and hx2 is equal to difference between the x bar and x2. Hx3 is equal to the difference between the x bar and x3. Like this, we have to find out the hx1, hx2, and hx3. So these are the values, and by substituting, we got the answer. So this is the value of the Iyy for the given non-symmetrical Z section. Now we will move to the another problem. So this is the problem on I section. So first take down this problem. Find the moment of inertia of a symmetrical I section with the following dimensions about the central axis. Find the radius of gyration also. Here the top and bottom flanges are 160 mm by 10 mm and the web is 180 mm by 10 mm. So that is the top flange and bottom flange, both are same and having a width of 160 mm and thickness of 10 mm, and the web is having a depth of 180 mm and thickness 10 mm. So this is the given figure. You have to draw the given figure, then accordingly sometimes the problem will not be given in the problem, then you have to draw the figure by using the data given in the problem. Now here also one important thing is, here the bottom flange 1 rectangle 1 and the top flange rectangle 3 both are similar. So we can find out the moment of inertia of only one, and we can add the other also. And this is the starting from the bottom, this is rectangle 1, rectangle 2, rectangle 3. Now here this problem can be found by in this method also, because only we need to find out the Ixx and also Iyy. So in the both the cases we have to find out the Ixx. In this case Ix also find out, and also Iyy also we have to find out. And here the given I section can be constant like this also. So it is having a, it is nothing but a two rectangles are cut out from the bigger rectangle. So this is the one rectangle and this is the other rectangle with the hatched condition. Hatched marks are cut out from the bigger rectangle. The bigger rectangle having the width capital B and depth small capital D, and the two small rectangles are symmetrical and having the width small b and depth small d. So we are considering the given I section as two smaller rectangles, that is symmetrical, two smaller symmetrical rectangles are cut out from the either side from the bigger rectangle with the dimensions. Now for this we got the formula. What is the formula? Cutout section. When we got the cutout section, so BDQ, because it is rectangle, so BDQ by 12 minus BDQ by 12, because we got the two rectangles. So first we will discuss about the moment of inertia of the symmetrical I section about the XX. So IXX is equal to here BDQ by 12 minus 2 into small BDQ by 12, because here we have to subtract two rectangles having the symmetrical dimensions. So 2, that is nothing but the BDQ by 12 minus BDQ by 12 minus BDQ by 12. So both are small BDQ by 12. So that is nothing but the BDQ by 12 minus 2 into small BDQ by 12. So substituting the values here, capital B is equal to 160 mm. Here the width is equal to 160 and depth is equal to 200. And for the small rectangles, so the width is equal to 75 and depth is equal to 180. So substituting the values, the Ixx is equal to 3376 into 10 power 4 mm 4. This is the moment of inertia about the central axis Xx. Now coming to the moment of inertia of the symmetrical I section about the YY axis. So here also same thing. The top flange and bottom flange are having the symmetrical dimensions, and only the web is different, so we can calculate for any one flange and we can multiply with 2. Therefore this is equal to I by y of the given section is equal to I by 1 plus I by 2 plus I by 3. So this is nothing but the here the I by 3 also equal to I by 1. So that is equal to 2 into I by 1 plus I by 2. So substituting the values, it is equal to 2 into here BD cube by 12, 10 into 160 cube by 12 plus 180 into 10 cube by 12. So this is equal, the total value is equal to 68.4 into 10 power 5 mm4. So this is the moment of inertia of the given I section about the y by axis, which is first included centroid. Next, we need to find out the radius of gyration. So here we got the formula for the radius of gyration. So the radius of gyration is nothing but the kx is equal to under root of ixx by a. The common equation is k is equal to under root of I by a, and the kx is equal to under root of ix by a. So here we got the ix value and a value, that is the total area is equal to 5000 square millimeters. So substituting this value, then the kx is equal to 82 millimeters. Similarly, the ky is equal to under root of Iyy by a. So substituting the values, we will get the ky is equal to 37 millimeters. So in this way, we can find out the Ixx and Iyy and kx and ky. That is the radius of gyrations for the given I section. So in this problem, so we have used a different method to find out the moment of inertia of the given symmetrical I section by rectangles method, from which the moment of inertia of the smaller two symmetrical rectangles are taken out from the bigger rectangle with the proper dimensions. So in this way also we can find out. So in this way we can find out the moment of inertia even the other way. So in the previous examples we have divided the, this is the rectangle 1, rectangle 2, rectangle 3. Like that's also, so in that case Ixx1 plus Ixx2 plus Ixx3, like that also we can found. But whatever may be the method, whatever may be the procedure, the answer will be the same. The moment of inertia of the I section will be same. So in this way we have found the moment of inertia of the given symmetrical I section about the xx and yy, and also the radius of gyration about the xx and yy, that is kx and ky. So these are the answers. The kx is equal to 82 millimeters and ky is equal to 37 millimeters. Now coming to the summary part. So in this class we have solved some of the examples on the triangular section, non-symmetrical C section, and also Z section. So this knowledge can be applied to the other symmetrical or similar problems to find out the moment of inertia of any composite sections. Now we have covered all the sections, and with the knowledge of this we can able to find out the moment of inertias about xx or about yy or about both of any given composite section. Now we'll go to the quiz part. The first one, MI of the triangular section about the central axis. So we have just done, so it is equal to BDQ with 36. The option B is the correct answer. Now the moment of inertia of a semicircle lamina about the central axis, that is equal to 0.11 R4. So the option 2 is B is the correct answer. Now these are some of the questions they may ask in the examinations, and you have to practice these problems. So after practicing these problems, you may become familiar with the problems on the composite sections. That is the problems on the finding out of the moment of inertia of the composite sections. So this is Z section, and with the dimensions are given, and you take this problem for the assignment. And now with this we are completing the chapter, that is the geometric properties of the section. And in this chapter we have learned about the geometric problems and locating the geometric properties of sections. What are the geometric properties of sections? The centroid and the moment of inertia are called as the geometric properties of the sections. So firstly we have to find out the centroid, and then we have to go for the moment of inertia. And for this you need to find out, remember the formulas of the coordinates of the standard figures. For example, rectangles, circle, triangle, because any figure is combination of these standard figures. It may be having a combination of the rectangle, sphere, triangle, an arc, or a part of a circle. So if you know the location of the centroids and also the formulas about the x-axis and y-axis, the moment of inertia of the given standard figure about the x-axis and y-axis, then you can find out the x1, x2 like that, the x coordinate of the centroid, and also y1, y2, y3 and so on of the y coordinate of the centroid for the standard figures. Then you have to find out the x1 is equal to a1 into x1 plus a2 into x2 plus a3 into x3 and so on by a1 plus a2 plus a3 and so on. And similarly the y coordinate is equal to a1 into y1 plus a2 into y2 plus a3 into y3 by a1 plus a2 plus a3 and so on. The coordinates of the centroid can be found like that. Then after finding out that, then by using the formulas of the standard figures, we also can find out the moment of inertia of the standard figures over the x axis and y axis. Then we have to find out the hx1, hx2, hx3 and also hy1, hy2, hy3 and so on. Then we have to shift that moment of inertia about the central axis by multiplying a term. Ixx1 is equal to Ixx bar plus a1 into hy1 whole square and so on. Like that we can able to shift the moment of inertia of any standard figure to any parallel axis which is parallel to its central axis by using the parallel axis theorem. And sometimes we also can find out the moment of inertia about the z axis. So here we know the x, y, z and they are the mutually perpendicular axis. So the according to the perpendicular axis theorem, Izz is equal to Ixx plus Iyy. So if we wanted to find out the polar moment of inertia, that is Izz, then firstly you have to find out the Ixx and Iyy, then you would add Ixx and Iyy to get the Izz, that is the polar moment of inertia of that figure. In this way, you can able to find out the moment of inertia of any figure. Only thing is, first of all, whenever the figure is given, so it is composed of some standard figures. So firstly, you have to divide the given figure into 1, 2, 3 standard areas, maybe rectangles, maybe triangles, maybe arcs like that. Then you have to find out the, firstly you have to define the reference axis, that is the bottommost will be the 0 point for the y-axis and the leftmost edge is the 0 point for the x-axis. Then from that points you have to find out the x1, x2, x3, y1, y2, y3 and then areas, and then hx1, hx2, hx3 and hy1, hy2, hy3, and accordingly you can find out the moment of inertia about the x-axis or the y-axis by substituting the dimensions in the standard formulas. In this way, we can able to solve the problem for any composite figure, and we can able to find out the moment of inertia about the xx and yy for any composite figure like L section, T section, C section, I section, Z section or any other shape. So this is about the finding out the locating the centroids and finding out the moment of inertias and also radius of gyration for the different figures. So with this we can conclude this chapter. So thank you all.